And welcome everyone to an America East chat. This is Andy Katz. I'm pleased to be joined by Bryant women's basketball coach Lynn Kokoski. Lynn, let's first deal before we unpack where you guys are at here in mid-February. The transition to the America East. It's been a process for Bryant. As you know, I know this long history of transitioning from D2 to D1, NEC to America East. Where is this program in this transition moving to this conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think the America East has been a big step up, coming from the NEC. So it has been a process, but for our team, I think it's just a matter of believing that you can win and you can compete and you can play with the top of the America East. And I think that's what we've proved throughout the season.
Because obviously, you're playing the likes of Maine, Vermont, Albany that have been historically really good programs. How did that change the makeup of this roster, especially because unlike a lot of programs, you are leaning on freshmen?
Yeah, yeah, I am. I'm playing four freshmen. I'm starting three, and so there's been some growing pains with that, but they've got some great experience. I just keep telling them, it's a long season. I just want you guys to be consistent and steadily go in an upward trajectory. And we've definitely taken our bumps here and there. A couple of them are like, wow, this is a long season. But the seniors, Mariana Planes Fortuny and Kimari Reynolds, who both start with those freshmen. They've done a great job of kind of setting the bar high and really kind of pulling them along, I would say.
To have that anchor, someone you can rely on in the post, what has that meant, especially if any of these possessions start stalling offensively?
Yeah, she's been fantastic this season. When I got the job, her and I had a long meeting, really the first day of my press conference, after my press conference. And, I just said, I watched a lot of film on you. I think you could be one of the best players in the America East Conference, if not compete for Player of the Year, if you trust me. And we went through a couple weeks of workouts after I got hired. We met again, and I was like, you're right there. And she's like, Coach, I trust you. And she's been fantastic. And you're absolutely right. We need a bucket. She's our go-to. She's been our steady Eddie. And I think she's just scratched the surface. I think she does have more in her game, in her package, and she does work on her game, which is great.
I'm just curious in this athletic department, um, and youth and experience. I mean, youth does not mean inexperience, but what's it been like where you and Phil Martelli Jr. are both first year coaches in terms of head coaches, and sort of going through this together, young on the younger side. You can relate to the players. Don't know everything, but you're just trying to sort of absorb as a sponge. What's that been like to have someone down the hall? And I know it literally is down the hall, like to work with.
Yeah. Phil Martelli Jr. has been fantastic. He's such a pleasure to work with. We talk a ton. He's one of the first people texting me after a win, especially, weekend sweeps. This past weekend, he texted me on the bus ride home from Binghamton. He's like, I could get used to these weekend sweeps. And I said, right back at you, man. So that has been really fun. We've talked a little bit about strategy, going through sets. We stole maybe one of his offenses, things like that. So that's been really, really fun. But I think that's what makes Bryant University so special is our athletic department, our swim coach, our volleyball coach, they're texting me after wins. And that's just been such a warm welcome. And, to know that you have so many people behind you. But again, someone down the hall, Phil Martelli Jr.'s caliber has been, just the best for me, transition into my first year as a head coach.
Well, appreciate it, Len. You're obviously doing a great job. A lot more to come here in the next couple of weeks and years and so on. So appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy.